Finally, we are live now. Hopefully you can hear me okay. We're going to be talking about Amazon's used buy box nightmare, what's happening, and what it means for booksellers. So I'm going to give a couple of minutes before we get into this topic because I am live right now. I'll probably chop this up and put this back on the YouTube channel later on today, just so it's more smooth for the replay viewers. But let's wait for folks to come on in and let's get into today's topic. All right, so hopefully everyone can hear me okay. Yes, Amanda, I gotta say, I sent you a text message after I ended the live stream, and I was like, thank you God that somebody was honest, because everybody else was like, you sound good, you sound great, and I listened to the replay and literally it was the worst. That's what I respect about flipping with Amanda. She's going to give it to me real. She's going to give it to me raw. She is not going to hold back. She's going to tell me the truth. So I'm excited about today's live stream because it's a shitty time right now for people who are selling used items. You know, I sent out an email yesterday and I titled it Amazon's Used Buy Box Nightmare, What's Happening and What It Means for Booksellers. If you're a part of my Reselling Freedom group or my bookselling groups, or if you're even a part of like Caleb Roth's old bookselling group, I put out a post in there yesterday breaking down pretty much what I've learned and what I've discovered from doing a lot of research, going through Amazon forums, going through Facebook groups, going through YouTube videos. And if you're a bookseller right now, or you're a Amazon seller who's selling used products, you're most likely getting absolutely mutilated right now. It doesn't apply to everybody. This really applies, I've noticed, mostly to people who are selling from like thrift stores or library sales and really exploiting the prime gap, the FBA bump for the folks who are, jumping on Amazon listings where, there's 25 merchants at $9 and you're trying to get to $20, $25, $30 price, and you're just not getting it. And I want to go through what's happening. I'm going to break down everything that I've learned, all of my research. I've got a bunch of notes here. So let me know if you guys could hear me okay. Put a 1 in the comments if you could hear me. Let me know if I sound good. And also let me know down below in the comments, have you been dealing with any issues with the Amazon used buy box nightmare that's been coming about? And I want to read like a little introduction because I have a whole blog post about this, but I'm going to read this introduction to kind of set the tone. So if you sell used books on Amazon through FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon, or really any used product, you may have noticed something deeply unsettling in the past few weeks. For years, the buy box, the section where customers can click buy it now, almost always favored FBA sellers over merchant fulfilled sellers. Even if a merchant fulfilled seller had a lower price, prime shipping gave FBA a competitive edge. But now everything seems to be changing. Suddenly, merchant fulfilled sellers are winning the buy box at an unprecedented rate, leaving FBA sellers scrambling to figure out what's happening. Some have seen daily sales drop by 50 to 80% overnight, while others are watching merchant fulfilled sellers dominate even when FBA sellers are priced competitively. So what I'm going to talk about today is what's going on. Is this a glitch? Is this a temporary test? Is this a permanent shift Amazon is doing to move away from favoring FBA sellers? And I'm going to be covering a bunch of different theories. I'm going to be covering what you can do because my sales are unaffected. I'm going to share why my sales are unaffected. Matter of fact, my sales in the last 30 days are up 145%. If you're a part of any of my Facebook groups, you'll see I put out a post. My sales are through the roof. Matter of fact, there's some other people as well who sell books whose sales seem to be unaffected. I'm going to talk about that as well. So yeah, let me know in the comments, guys, if you could hear me, and we're going to get into this. Pete says my sales have died the last 2 weeks. A lot of people's sales have. Escalator Journey says FBA, only the FBI is looking for me. I don't know what that means. Pete says 0 sales, normally average 3 book sales per day. You've got some crazy people in the comments right now. So So let's get into things, okay? So number one, FBM sellers are winning the buy box more frequently. A couple things to keep in mind. Amazon is prioritizing merchant fulfilled sellers over FBA, even when the price is the same. This is especially affecting used sellers, okay? Many FBA sellers are seeing a drop in sales and buy box wins. This is actually a quote from Amazon Seller 42 saying, every single one of my top selling used books has lost the buy box to an FBM seller, even when my price is better. So that's crazy. Imagine that. You're an FBA seller. You're used to winning the buy box. You're used to beating the merchant fulfilled sellers. And now all of your products seem to be losing to merchant fulfilled sellers, even when the sellers are priced less. That's wild. That's a huge change. Now, there's 4 theories why this is happening, okay? 4 theories that the community has kind of come about and talked about. And again, I'm gathering all this information and bringing it to you guys. Theory number 1, Amazon is prioritizing the lowest price over Prime eligibility. So that makes sense, kind of, because, you know, Amazon's always looking to sell customers items at the lowest price. Now, there's obviously some counter arguments to that because Amazon makes a lot of money through FBA, but that's theory number 1. Amazon is prioritizing the lowest price. And they've actually been doing this in the UK for, I think, the last year and a half. They made this change, and merchants are actually kicking FBA's ass over in the UK. I'll talk about that. Theory number 2, Amazon is pushing sellers towards merchant fulfilled. Can anybody guess why? Why would Amazon, do you think, be pushing sellers to want to merchant fulfill versus FBA? Come on, put a guess down below. It's very, very obvious to me why this theory could play out. Yes, because they want to clear out the fulfillment centers. Maybe Amazon has decided, hey, we don't want to be selling all these used items that don't sell as fast as new products, long tail products. It's clogging up the fulfillment centers. Maybe, you know, with real estate prices going up and all these different things, maybe they want to make some shifts and changes to their business, right? Maybe they don't want all these books that only sell 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times a month in the warehouses. That makes sense, right? That's definitely a theory. Theory number 3, it's a glitch, or Amazon is testing an algorithm. Maybe it's a test that's gone wrong. Maybe it's a piece of code that is messed up. Although there was a screenshot in the groups kind of running around last night from a representative, this guy named Glenn, saying, you know, it's not a glitch. It's not an issue. This is something that Amazon has done on purpose. I don't know how true that that screenshot is from inside of the Amazon forums, but possibly it's a glitch, or possibly it's a test that Amazon is testing to see, hey, maybe this works out in our benefit and we're able to make stockholders even more money. You know, maybe they're testing something out. And number 4, theory number 4, legal pressure and antitrust concerns. So if you guys check out the video that Avery, Romer the Roamer, put out on his YouTube channel, supposedly the FTC is going after Amazon, in regards to Amazon being a monopoly, in regards to kind of how FBA works, and maybe they're doing some things to, you know, try to state their case in court to try to, you know, protect themselves in the event that, you know, the FTC is saying they're a monopoly, so on and so forth. You could do some research into that, but those are the 4 theories. Amazon is prioritizing lowest price overall to give customers the lowest price, which again screws over the FBA sellers. Number 2, Amazon is pushing sellers towards merchant fulfilling to clear out the warehouses. Number 3, it could be a glitch, or maybe an algorithm test gone wrong, or maybe a piece of code that's messed up, which, you know, based on what the community is saying, that's not really the case. And number 4, legal pressures and antitrust concerns, monopoly concerns, you know, lawsuits based on the FTC. Let me know, guys, which one do you think it is out of those 4 theories? And I'm going to dive in, guys. This is just the beginning. Which one out of those 4 theories do you feel like is the most likely, right? Amazon wants to have the lowest prices overall, and they said, screw the FBA sellers. Amazon is pushing sellers towards merchant fulfilling to clear out the warehouses. That's number 2. Number 3, is it a glitch or an algorithm test? Or number 4, is it based on legal pressure and antitrust concerns? Let me know what you guys think. Amanda says, I think it's the lawsuit, and Avery was spot on. Possibly. Possibly. All right, let's get into number 2. I've got a bunch of points here. FBA sellers are losing buy box even at competitive prices. So in the past, FBA sellers can price items higher and still win. That's not the case for used. For new, it is the case. For new, it is the case. So I sell 99% of my items from eBay to Amazon. I'm all new. I don't really sell a lot of used items anymore, and I'm still winning the buy box. My sales are up 145%. So, yeah, it's still going to FBA if you're new, but it seems with used, there's a change right here, okay? Now, even when pricing is the same or lower, merchants are favored. Amazon's algorithm seems to prioritize lowest price over fulfillment method like it did in the past for used goods. And like I mentioned before, this issue has also happened in the UK, where it's become the new norm, a sign that this could be permanent in the US as well. And UK bookseller actually posted in a Facebook group saying this is the exact buy box shift that happened in the UK and never changed back. It's been like this for over a year now. Very, very interesting. Over 90% of sales come from the buy box. Did you know that? Over 90% of sales on eBay come from the buy box. Again, the buy box is that buy it now button. If there's 20 sellers selling the same product, it's all under one listing. When someone hits buy it now, who gets it? It's based on the buy box rotation. Usually, the buy box will go to FBA. Now it's going to merchant fulfilled. So the buy box is where most sales happen. If you lose it, you lose revenue. Customers rarely scroll to check other sellers, meaning losing the buy box means a huge drop in sales. This is why the recent changes have crushed booksellers so much. Now, keep in mind, there's been no official statement from Amazon on the change. Amazon hasn't confirmed this glitch or said that it's a permanent change. Many sellers suspect this is either an algorithm update or a test. Like I mentioned, that's one of the theories. Amazon is known for not informing sellers about major updates in advance. An FBA seller said this on Facebook. If this was a glitch, it would have been fixed by now, which I agree. Looks like more like a policy shift they're rolling out silently. Ooh, what do you guys think about that? Rolling it out silently. Now, this is something that really hurts, and this is something that's going to be very interesting moving forward into the future if this change occurs, based on the used buy box. Is FBA storage fees still apply despite lower sales? Keep that in mind. You're paying fees to store your items at FBA. You're paying additional fees for fulfillment for Amazon to be able to fulfill, to be able to pick, to be able to pack, to be able to ship. And one of the main reasons why we sell items FBA is not only number one, to be able to leverage our time so we don't have to store all the items at our house, pick it, pack it, and ship it, but also usually we get a higher price by selling at FBA. Now, again, for new items and for eBay to Amazon and for anybody who's selling new products, this is unaffected. This is for used. But if you're selling used products, it almost de-incentivizes you to want to ship items to FBA because, again, you're going to pay more in fees. You're not getting that prime jump. And in the past, you were willing to pay more in fees because you were able to take advantage of that prime jump. But now, if you have competitors that are merchant fulfilled, which normally they're a lot less, 10, 20, 30% less, you're not able to get that sale, which is very, very interesting right here. Pete says if this is permanent, they should at least pay for everyone's FBA inventory removal fees. I agree 100%. Hookamer says FDJT is the point. Sorry, you're catching strays. I don't know what that means. Amanda says that's really messed up. My business model doing A to A is so stressful. And I'm going to talk more about that in a second, Amanda. So here's something to consider. This is something I wouldn't do, but for some, if this is your livelihood and you're not selling new like me, consider listing your items as fulfillment by merchant, FBM. Many sellers are adding FBM listings to their business model now since you're going to pay less in fees, and it doesn't really seem like the FBA price is being prioritized. If Amazon is prioritizing FBM, it might make sense to test fulfillment by merchant. You know, the downside to that is you're going to have to store everything at your house. You're going to be having to list and, ship everything and deal with customer service and all of that. That's why I did FBA. I wanted to run a business. I didn't want to be at home all day packing orders, answering questions. So if you're open to doing that, consider it. You could also consider using a third-party logistic company that offers merchant fulfilling as well if you don't want to do it yourself. So if you're using a prep center right now, you could consider, if they haven't shipped it to FBA yet, consider paying them to merchant fulfill on your behalf. I know some prep centers do offer that. Another thing to consider lowering price and condition. I want to talk about how lowering price and condition is helping sellers win the buy box. Lowering prices is working for many sellers to regain the buy box. So if you do want to win the buy box, lower your price. The thing with that is you're killing your margins, you're killing your profit. And if you're buying items hoping to sell it at these, FBA buy box prices, you're going to be selling it for a lot less, 10, 20, 30%. So that might not be something that's possible. Okay, however, Amazon is also prioritizing better condition, like new versus acceptable. So keep in mind as well, not only your price you have to pay attention to, but now it looks like Amazon is prioritizing the better condition products, like new versus acceptable, very good versus good. I was talking to Amanda about this yesterday. I know her friend Jessica was saying the same thing. So keep that in mind as well. They are not only prioritizing merchant fulfillers, but they're also prioritizing the condition. So you might even be the same price or less than a merchant, but if their condition is better, they can prioritize them over you. That's crazy. This is absolutely wild what Amazon is doing right now. Now, one thing I'll warn you of is beware of price tanking. Lowering your prices too much is going to kill your profit margins. It's going to kill your ROI, and you're going to start price wars, especially with other Amazon sellers who do have repricers. So sellers are using repricers to adjust prices dynamically, but again, be careful about creating those price wars. Pretty nasty. Book Flipper Mike on Facebook said, saw a seller drop a $50 book to $15 just to chase the buy box. Now it's a $15 book forever. It's not a $15 book forever, Mike. If the market sells out, the price is probably going to go back up. But yeah, I mean, if that book isn't a fast seller, it could be damaged that price for a while. So again, repricing tools can help to now adjust to this new algorithm, but obviously keep in mind, you don't want to be mutilating the prices, undercutting, chasing the buy box, because you're just going to be killing the market, killing your profits, killing your ROIs. So, it's one of those things where if you're not winning the buy box right now, you could keep your prices the same, but your sales are probably going to be really, really slow. So maybe try adjusting your prices a little bit, kind of check on what your competitors are doing. Maybe try to hold fast the best you can right now, because who knows, this could clear up in a couple of weeks. You don't know. So you don't want to tank all of your prices because there's just a lot of uncertainty right now. Another tip, shift to selling new items, right? I know if you got a ton of used items in FBA right now, you're probably thinking to yourself, like, what should I do? Should I ship them back to myself? No, don't ship them back right now, because that's going to be very expensive and we don't know what's going to happen. Keep your items in there, maybe reprice them a little bit more. Don't tank all the prices, kind of keep an eye on things, try to reprice things, make sure your repricer doesn't freaking chase everybody down to the bottom, but consider stopping buying used books and used items right now that you're pricing against FBA. And if you are going to buy used items, you want to price it based on the true intrinsic value, which is the lowest overall used offer. Okay, so I'm going to say that again. Don't remove all your items from FBA and panic and freak out, because we don't know what's going to happen. Maybe adjust your prices a little bit. Make sure your repricers don't go crazy out of whack chasing the buy box. If you are going to continue to buy used books, make sure that you're pricing those used books against the lowest overall used offer, and take a look at Keepa to get a good feel of what's the true intrinsic value. That's why a lot of the online arbitrage booksellers, the people who are using BookMine and using Replen Catcher to flip books, and regardless, people who are just flipping textbooks, but they're not pricing it based on an overly inflated buy box. They're pricing it and they're buying it with their margins considering the lowest overall offer, the true intrinsic value. They're not hurting as much because they've got the margin to be able to price it based on the true intrinsic value, instead of trying to take advantage of the FBA prime bump. Okay, so keep that in mind. If you are going to continue buying used, you don't want to price your ROI and profit based on the FBA buy box prices. You want to look and assess and try to figure out what's the true intrinsic value, okay? But start adding new items, guys. Start adding new DVDs, new CDs. I wouldn't sell new books. Amazon really doesn't like that, and publishers get crazy, so don't sell new books. Stick to used, but new DVDs, new CDs. You could buy those with the Replen catcher. You can set up Keepa alerts. You can go to thrift stores, library sales. I sell 99% new. I've sold over $700,000 in the last year of new products. A lot of people freak out about new, thinking you're going to get kicked off and Amazon's going to be asking for invoices and Section 3s. It's honestly no different, right? The only advice I would give is if you're going to sell new, fly under the radar. Sell items that flip 1 to 10 times a month, and that's what I do. I use Replen catcher. If you check the link down below, first link below, you can try it for free for 14 days. Replen catcher will essentially look at over 2 million products, CDs, DVDs, board games, all different types of items, and you can put in your ROI and your profit, and it'll bring all the deals to you, and you can even make best offers on eBay and find deals like that. The new buy box is not affected. So if you're worried moving forward with your sourcing, start looking into new items, right? You can even buy new DVDs and stuff off of Amazon and flip it back on Amazon if you're really paranoid about invoices and whatnot. But my sales are up 145% over the last 30 days. Most of all my students who are selling new, they're unaffected. Even the used sellers, like I said, who are flipping books, like with Bookmine and whatnot, who are buying based on a true intrinsic value, valuation, right? They're not buying a book for 30 saying I'm going to sell it for 90 just because the buy box is at 90. They're saying, okay, I'm going to buy it for 30. The true intrinsic value is 65, and that's how I'm going to flip it. So now with these changes, they're not absolutely getting mutilated. They've got that margin there. So that's a little advice I would give. Start focusing on new if you can. Retail Arb King said, my used book sales are dead, but my new sealed media and toys are still moving like normal. So Retail Arb King said that in the Facebook group. Same here. Same here. My items are selling perfectly fine because, again, this issue is pertaining to the used buy box. So shift to new items, right? Start adding those new items. And like I mentioned, OA booksellers focused on true value are less affected. Sellers who price books based on real market demand, intrinsic value, aren't seeing as much impact. Joji Davenport recently said in one of the Facebook groups, if your business depends on buying books way above their real value and flipping them at inflated prices, you're getting crushed. But if you source based on true market demand, you're still selling. And this is absolutely true. I couldn't agree more. This suggests that sellers relying on overly inflated prices are the ones who are getting hurt, okay? So moral of the story, don't over leverage buy prices on used books. Okay, I don't know what I wrote there. Let me restate what I said. Okay, focus on sourcing inventory that has real lasting value and don't buy based on overly inflated FBA boxes. I'm getting excited over here. What's up, Josh? Okay. We got somebody singing lyrics in here. What's up, Adventures with Will? Getting after it, baby. What's up, Josh? Hey, thanks so much, man. Amanda says I'm going to get back into flipping DVDs. I don't know why you stopped, Amanda. That was crazy to me. Where to offload used items other than eBay? Facebook Marketplace. Have a garage sale. eBay. I know you already mentioned that. But the thing is, guys, I wouldn't freak out and panic and remove everything from your FBA warehouses. That's going to be a lot of money. That's going to be expensive. Let's wait a little bit. Let's not freak out. This is what people who are, how do I say this in a non-offensive way? People who are new to business, people who haven't been in business for 5 to 10 years like I have and others who are on this stream, people who... I'll just put it like that. People who are new to business, when something happens like this, when a change happens, they freak out, they panic, they pull out their hair, they run, they make fast decisions. That's not what you want to do. You want to take some time to assess what's happening. Let's check out all these different theories. Let's see what the community is saying. Make changes slowly right now, okay? Make changes slowly right now because we don't know what is happening. The big changes I would make right now is, again, if you're going to be buying used items, buy them based on the true intrinsic value, okay? If you're looking to spend money and you don't want your buy box affected, go after those new DVDs, those new CDs, those new board games, those new toys. That's what I sell. Unaffected. Davey says, just join the live. Is the problem mostly with books or DVDs? It's just used. It's the used buy box, Davey. So anybody who's selling used products right now and are in, they have products at the FBA warehouses, those products are not being prioritized in the buy box. The merchant fulfilled sellers are getting the buy box, which means their items aren't selling and they're having to tank the prices. All right, let's keep moving. So, okay, here's a quick tip. Adapt, okay? You have to adapt. Winners adjust, losers quit, okay? Winners adjust, losers quit. Winners take time to assess and look at the market and look at the changes, and they talk to other winners. They talk to other sellers. They watch these videos, they take notes, they figure out, okay, this is all the stuff that's happening, and then they adjust. Every big Amazon update creates winners and losers. The key is adapting. This is nothing new on Amazon, okay? And we've been getting hit over the head. I made a video, guys, 2-3 weeks ago saying Amazon is trying to eliminate the smaller sellers. It's absolutely true. It is a jungle right now on Amazon, okay? And I know you're used to watching videos from gurus like myself who just blow smoke up your ass and sell you dreams and make it sound like, oh, everything is perfectly fine. Things are not perfectly fine right now. Amazon is literally trying to eliminate small sellers. The good news is, I still think there's multiple years to be able to keep making money, but you've got to be agile. You've got to be willing to get punched in the chest. Like, you've got to be willing to adjust because Amazon is trying to eliminate small sellers. The writing is on the wall with all the API changes they're doing that destroys the small sellers, with all the issues that they put out with the API, making it so much harder to list and ship now. Like, thanks, Amazon. Amazon comes around and regates everybody. They regate everybody on items that you've already been ungated for. That's a punch to the gut for the small sellers. And then they come out and they say, okay, small sellers, now if you want to get ungated again, we want you to have 100, 300, 500 quantity of an item to get ungated. Yeah, okay, small sellers are really going to be able to do that. Yeah, okay. And now what they're doing is they're hitting a bunch of small sellers and newer sellers with Section 3s and video verifications, and they want the invoices from the supply chain, and they want the invoices from them and them. They are making it very, very, very difficult. And now you've got this issue with the used buy box. So winners adjust, losers quit. And that's a Chat GPT prompt right there. I don't like to be that much in people's faces. It's easy to quit when things get tough, but there's always a way, and there's a lot of money to be made. And in the last year, I made $175,000 profit in 2024, paid myself $130,000 cash flow in my pocket on $700,000 in sales. And I don't share this to impress you, but to impress upon you, there's money to be made. I'm not just a guy coming on here blowing smoke up your ass, just trying to sell you a course. Like, I'm actually doing this, living this, making money every single day. That's why I'm passionate about sharing these updates and changes, so folks can be aware of what's happening, and you can get real information from a real seller and kind of see and understand how they're thinking and how they're moving forward. To be honest, this doesn't affect me as much because I'm not a used product seller. I sell mostly new, but I think it's my responsibility to make a video and kind of share, what I'm seeing and some of the updates. So, I know a lot of folks aren't buying new. They're buying a lot of used products. So I think it's my responsibility to be honest and share my thoughts on this. The reason they want invoices is because they want to know how to eliminate their competitors. That too. Yeah. There's also a counterfeit issue on Amazon. So I think they want invoices to make sure that products are legitimate. So final thoughts. This is one of the biggest buy box shifts Amazon sellers have faced in years. Remember when Amazon had like the restock limits and all that? We got through that, but now here's a new one. Amazon sellers, used Amazon booksellers, used Amazon sellers have not faced something this frustrating in a long time. So keep in mind my final thoughts. Number one, test FBM alongside FBA. Start testing out fulfillment by merchant. It'll be less fees. Obviously, it's a lot more work, but start testing FBM because, again, they're prioritizing FBM. Also, start testing the condition that you list your products in because, again, they're prioritizing condition as well. Another thought would be consider adding new products into your arsenal. New products aren't affected. The new buy box isn't affected. Again, if you're going to be buying new items, don't buy new books. I'd stick to more like CDs and DVDs, toys, board games, so on and so forth. You do have to be a little bit more careful with IP complaints and different issues like that, but I tend to focus on buying from eBay to Amazon. Again, I use Replen Catcher. You can check the link out down below to check that out for free, but I use Replen Catcher and I focus on slower selling items. Not necessarily, it doesn't mean they sell slower, but less popular, discontinued, vintage items, 1 to 10 sales a month. Those items, you're typically not going to have any issues. And again, I do this. I'm not just yip yapping to you people. I am sharing based on real life experience, which a lot of people on YouTube don't do, but I do. So respect it. Put some respect on my name. So test FBM alongside FBA, avoid price tanking, and again, look into the condition, because if you're selling used, Amazon is prioritizing the condition. Shift towards newer products like DVDs and CDs, games and toys, because the new buy box isn't affected as much. Check out Replen Catcher to be able to find and replenish inventory a lot faster and focus on new items. Don't over leverage prices. If you're buying items from thrift stores and library sales, you have to stop listening to Scout IQ and Scout Lee, because they're going to be telling you that you could sell this item at this price because that's the buy box price. Right now, at least right now, this video might be irrelevant in a couple of weeks, but at least right now, Amazon is prioritizing FBM and the condition. So if you're going to be scanning with Scout IQ or Scout Lee or even the Amazon seller app, and you're looking at calculating your profit and ROI based on the buy box price, you might get hurt. That may be overly inflated. So just like Joji Davenport said, you want to buy your items based on the resale value of its true intrinsic value. So you can use tools like Keepa to take a look at the lowest overall used offer, what it sold for in the past. Look at that black bar on Keepa, that lowest overall offer, and see where it has been selling consistently and price your items based upon that. It's a pain in the ass. It is. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Smash that like button right now. By the way, if you guys are getting some value here, if you guys are kind of understanding what's going on right now, smash that like button. Put a 1 in the comments if you're getting some value here. And again, stay scrappy, stay profitable, and don't quit too soon. Winners always find a way. I know you guys are winners. I know you guys are not quitters. I know you guys are willing to adjust and try new things. And hopefully this helps. So let me know what you guys thought of this video. Did you guys learn some new things? I've spent a lot of time over the last couple of weeks researching, putting all this information together, looking at the different theories. I don't have all the answers. I'm just, almost like a messenger, right? Taking information from people who are a lot smarter than me and other people in the community, and obviously putting my own little spin and my 2 cents into things. But this is, I think this is the video that you need to share, because yeah, it's the reality of what's happening right now. So it is what it is. Amanda says, always motivating me to keep going and adjust. Hey, you're always motivating me too, Amanda. I appreciate it. Misa says customers will choose FBA once they realize slow selling speeds from FBM sellers. Yeah, hopefully we'll see. Burnt popcorn. I love that name, by the way. That's a good name. Boycotting Amazon. Hey, now's the time. Amanda says Walmart is calling our names. Yeah, get on Walmart. Walmart's another great way to resell. Shannon says, is used DVDs and CDs affected by this? I thought it was just the used book category. From what I understand, I don't have real data because, again, I am selling new. But from my understanding, this affects the used buy box overall. So from my understanding, don't quote me, and somebody, correct me if I'm wrong. But it sounds like this used buy box issue applies to all the categories. Can someone correct me if I'm wrong, or is that true? Is that what you have heard? I usually hang out in book selling groups, so I'm usually like looking at everything through like the buy box for the used books. And again, I sell new, so I'm not entirely sure, but I've had a couple people reach out to me. Matter of fact, in Reselling Freedom, somebody put a comment in there yesterday saying, Steve, it's not just books, it's everything. So I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure that it's applying to all the categories. All right, guys. Well, appreciate you all. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this helps. Good luck with everything. And Yeah, keep moving forward. Julian says, when I was listing DVDs the other day, I saw two MF orders for the buy box. Yeah, the buy box is wild right now. I don't know exactly what's happening. Sometimes there's like 3 buy boxes. I don't know. I don't have all the answers, guys. That's all I've got right now. But with that being said, much love. Appreciate you guys. Resale stuff, link down below if you want to check out Replen Catcher. It's only a 14-day trial, not a 30-day. That doesn't exist. But yeah, thanks, Ryan. Appreciate you guys. Much love. See you in the next one. Replay will be available in a few minutes. Bye.